About 3 weeks ago, I did an unboxing video of this quite an impressive watch. Since then, I spent more time with it and actually got quite close and personal, and even had to make sure it didn't walk away from me on the wrist of one of my relatives. Now it's time for the in-depth review, so let's get started. Hello and welcome to the channel. If you're subscribed, thank you and very warm welcome back. And if you're new here, we do watch reviews on this channel, so do join us by hitting that big red subscribe button. I did mention this in the unboxing video, and just for the sake of giving some context in case this is your first time encounter with this type of diver's watch, this is a homage to Captain Willard watch from Seiko, nicknamed after Captain Willard character played by Martin Sheen, who wore this watch in the movie Apocalypse Now. However, Seiko, at the point of filming this video, to the best of my knowledge, doesn't make bronze case watches. Right, in the box we get usual San Martin robust plastic case. This watch comes with 2-year warranty card, signed and stamped, user manual, branded spring bar removing tool, and we get a couple of abrasive bars to maintain that bronze case patina. More about it when we get a closer look at the case. And probably due to a holiday season special, I also received a NATO style strap and a pair of spring bars to fit it in. I will of course show how it looks on this NATO strap later in the video. Dimensions. Okay, 3 to 9 o'clock the case measures about 44mm, the bezel diameter is about 41mm, the case height is 14mm, the lug width is 20mm, lug tape to lug tape is just under 49mm, and such a compact lug to lug distance and a slight curvature of the lugs to hug the wrist makes this watch very comfortable to wear, potentially starting with a wrist circumference of about 6¼ inch. I'll put some wrist shots on my about 7-inch wrist and on a 6¼ inch wrist later in the video. There is no taper on this supplied 20mm leather strap, and we have a nice bronze 24mm white buckle. The full-length bracelet should cover about 8¼ inch wrist or about 21 cm. And on the supplied leather strap, this watch weighs about 123 grams. Dial. For me, this is one of the highlights of this watch. Product pictures on AliExpress are good, but in my opinion they still don't do justice to this dial. The color is deep green, kind of emerald green. There is also a nice sunburst effect. We have applied our indices, which are practically gold color frames filled with layers and layers of lume, and a minute chaptering printed on the rehaut. There is also a nicely framed date window, which kind of mimics the look of the applied hour indices. The date window frame and our indices golden color frames have mirror-polished faces that bounce the light very well and add to the overall richness of colors of this dial. San Martin used an applied logo, and I think it fits perfectly with the overall aesthetics of this watch. The writing on the dial is short and to the point. Hands are also executed in the same color as the indices. The hands facets are well polished and also bounce the light pretty well. The end of the second hand has a lume and a red dot. The red dot and the red font on the dial writing around 6 o'clock provide a nice break for the whole green-gold theme of the dial. The hands are well proportioned and of the right length. I did point out this during the unboxing video. The finishing of the second-hand pinion cap just goes to show San Martin's high attention to details. And of course we have lume. Well, this is sort of understatement. This watch has one heck of a lume. I think San Martin just went on applying it and forgot when to stop. The only other watches I can compare this lume to are Orient Triton and another San Martin watch, all three having probably the best lume. And while this San Martin bronze watch easily lasts as long as the other two, it is noticeably brighter, especially at the beginning. So, long story short, this is probably the best lume you can get on a $200 watch. Looking at the crystal now, we have a nice double dome sapphire crystal. It is not immediately obvious, but there is a slight curvature if we look at it at a certain angle. San Martin also applied anti-reflective undercoating, and it seems to do the job quite nicely. The dial is very legible in very slight conditions. We have 120 clicks unidirectional bezel. One of my concerns before I bought this watch was the bezel action. How will the bronze bezel perform, especially after exposure to the water? Well, apparently I was worried for nothing. The bezel action was perfect when I unboxed the watch, and it is still perfect now a few weeks later. I didn't baby this watch, as you can probably notice by various little hairline scratches here and there, and even though I didn't go swimming anywhere over this period, I did shower with this watch and used every opportunity to get it wet. As for the material, this is a fully bronze coin-edge bezel with engraved minute chapter ring and a lume pip at 12 o'clock. As I already mentioned, the action is very good, there is no wobble or backplay. The resistance is just right in my opinion, and it aligns perfectly with the markings on the dial. Moving on to the case is made out of bronze, CUSN 8 type of bronze to be precise, which is coincidentally considered pretty much the most suitable bronze composition for divers watches and is used by a few Swiss brands like Panerai, for example, in their Lumino submersible. We have circular brushing on top of the case and polished flanks. There is also vertical brushing in between the lugs. The screw-down crown at 4 o'clock is quite substantial, it is easy to grip and operate, and because it is at 4 o'clock rather than more common 3 o'clock position, it is kind of tucked away. I like the crown grip, it is a bit unusual, and I also like the 3D shark logo on the crown. Moving to the back of the case, it is more coarse finish on the bronze surface of the back of the case, and we have a stainless steel screw-on case back with some basic specs and again with quite prominent 3D shark logo. Saint Martin declares 200 meters of water resistance on this watch, so it is pretty much safe for swimming and some recreational diving. Now, this is a bronze watch, so we cannot avoid the patina. It started to develop slowly but constantly, and when I was getting ready to film this video, I noticed that the top of the bezel darkened quite a bit, probably because that is the area of the watch that was least touched during the last few weeks. Of course, we can leave the patina on, and I will do so going forward because that is what gives this bronze watch that individual character. However, in case if we want to clean it, there are some straightforward methods to do so. For example, any acidic type of juice, orange juice or kiwi juice, or in my case, lemon juice, and a few minutes later, the patina was gone from the bezel. Movement. We have tried and tested Seiko Instruments NH35A movement here. It beats at 21,600 beats per hour, hacks, hand winds, and has a power reserve of about 42 hours. This is a good and reliable movement from a renowned manufacturer. However, it would be interesting to see this watch with the high-beat movement options like PT5000 or even Sellita SW200, for example. Saint Martin does offer this option on some of their other watches, so it could potentially work for this watch as well. Bracelet or leather strap in this particular case. It is a good quality leather strap with quick release spring bars. Saint Martin used to offer this watch on a Crazy Horse type leather strap, but I think this one is slightly different. After checking with Saint Martin, apparently it is made out of quality Horween leather that they import and then craft the straps locally. I like it, it has a good quality feel and smell, should I add. It does show the stretch marks quite easily, which is apparently a characteristic of the Horween leather. But then these marks are actually easy to fix too by applying some leather conditioner. We have a well-sized buckle, quite appropriately made from bronze as well. Here is the watch on my 7-inch wrist, and here it is on a 6.25-inch wrist. Now, the holes on the leather strap only go to about 6.75-inch wrist, so this one is a bit loose. So, potentially, we will need to create another hole to cater for more slender wrist. The NATO strap that Saint Martin sent with this watch has a few more holes, so there's no problem like that. And here this watch on the NATO strap. I think the color of the strap works pretty well with the dial as well. Okay, the good, the bad, and well, This is a very good watch in my opinion, definitely punching above its price point. Flawlessly executed dial, bags of lume, double dome sapphire crystal, and of course its key feature, the bronze case. There are a few things though that I think could have made this good watch even better, however none of them were deal breakers for me. So for example the leather strap. The supplied one is of a good quality and I'm enjoying it, however it feels quite soft and I'm concerned how long it will keep its good looks. I did say the same thing a few weeks ago in my unboxing video and my worries did not eventuate, so looks like I will need to do another follow-up on this. Second, the signed buckle would be nice, not a deal breaker, but would be nice nevertheless. And third, as I mentioned earlier, an option with a higher bit movement could have been an interesting choice. What are your thoughts, or am I nitpicking at this nearly perfect watch? Please let us know in the comments. And of course, if you're enjoying this video and finding it helpful, do smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't already done so. And as always, thank you for watching and I will see you in the next one.